Ah, smell those traffic fumes. And no damn aliens. Time for some R&R. What the is going on?
Duke, what have you been doing? We've got monsters from the past and the future all over us. Someone must have sent a time machine into overdrive. That's the only thing that could have warped the fabric of space and time like this.
Oops, it must be the aliens trying one last time, right?
Hey there everybody, welcome back to Duke Ugly Nukem. We are pretty much in the final stretch of 0 hour, and just for shits and giggles, I decided to let you beautiful people out there see what the developers thought were good secrets to put in. Yep, for getting, I guess, all the babes on some levels, killing all the enemies on some levels, finding all the secrets on some levels, you unlock different things, and some of those things are okay, like unlimited ammunition, and some of those things are shit, to say the least. What you're seeing right now, such as the, I guess, placeholder text in the upper left-hand corner, is the weather, or what they call weather, in the secrets menu. There is also this wonderfully low pixel bullshit you see covering pretty much everything, and that is called ice skins. I guess it's supposed to represent everything covered in ice, as opposed to everything really looking low res and artifacty, just ugly all around. But since I haven't really shown off any secrets so far, I figure why not do it on this atrocity of a level. So we have now supposedly tried to fix all the different time streams, and apparently that's done some awful things to time, as you could assume, since we were going around blowing up things and killing Jack the Ripper and the Hindenburg and the Titanic. It's been a train wreck of a game, and it's all led up to this wonderful level that somehow manages to shove in everything rather stupidly and also dick you over as much as possible. I will say during this level that I'm good at games, if you couldn't tell. I'm very good at games. Also, the freeze thrower is not really a good weapon, but it was a weapon that I managed to unlock unlimited ammo for, and that's really useless. Something else I didn't realize, though, was that if you freeze someone, they don't drop ammo in this game. So that can be a bit annoying, especially here where you need to blow up that wall, and if you didn't manage to pick up pipe bombs back in the parking deck, and you didn't manage to pick up the grenade launcher since you froze that particular guy, well, it might make things difficult, to say the least. But I decided to speed this part up just to maybe save a little bit of time in this stage. Also, I will say I didn't die, but I'm very good at games. And really, this entire underwater section is, well, for one thing, it's actually kind of hard. It has those little submarine or torpedo shooting enemies, if you remember from way back ago. And they are still very annoying and still very deadly. Plus, I'm not really sure why they needed to put that ice texture on ladders, but they did, so. You may also notice that since we started out into a new time period, I guess, they decided to take away all of our weapons. So we're just kind of scrounging around trying to find whatever we can. But since it's kind of an amalgamation of all the time periods into a very dull looking area, then I guess we have a rather odd assortment of weapons to choose from. Sadly, they are mostly still kind of awful. I mean, we thankfully have back the rifle from the Old West, which is actually pretty good, but we're going to be running into some very special enemies that are going to be the basis for this, or the base objective for this particular level. And we're going to find that these particular enemies, they take quite a bit of damage, while we will be receiving quite a bit of damage from them. And we'll be seeing them in just a second, but hopefully you don't mind me trying to get back a little bit of health, as I've been pretty consistently murdered by those grenade launching pigs, so. But we're making good headway through this ugly thing.
You're too good looking to kill, but I'm gonna kill you anyway.
But yeah, apparently all of the past Duke Nukems that maybe we were taking the place of, or whatever the hell is going on, for some reason we now have to face a bunch of Dukes from different time periods with pretty much different weapon setups. It can be fairly difficult depending on what weapon they have or how stupid I decide to be. Such as here, where I thankfully was able to spam both buttons for both the hydrant and shooting. So I'm good at games. But yeah, that actually could have ended pretty badly, and it kind of did. But thankfully we are still alive. We're still, well, I guess we're heading to an alien spaceship above the Statue of Liberty. I'm not really sure why in this alternate future the Statue of Liberty would even still exist, but the game's pretty short-sighted. You know, whenever ripples through time happen, you know, only all of humanity is killed, but not the actual structures that humanity may have built. So,
Kids,
you know,
remember
good
Don't
design.
practice at home.
But yeah, actually this entire little area right here is more or less voluntary. It's, or optional I should say. I'm voluntarily playing this, and this optional voluntary area is actually going to be helpful for us because it has some very helpful items, and considering that we have none, we should probably do our best to collect as much as possible. Especially regarding sniper rifle ammo, because that's going to be especially helpful with dealing with all those other Dukes. Also, I'm not really sure why those other Dukes are evil, but we can't really have more than one Duke, or something, I don't know. But hey, we got some armor, a shitty weapon, and a portable med kit, so 2 out of 3 items is pretty sweet. And you may hear that pig, and that pig is a big kick in the balls. Though I'm not actually sure how its grenade didn't hurt us and managed to kill itself, but thankfully, even with that damage averted, we still have these 2 wonderful sentry machine gun robots waiting for us, and they'll more than happily do damage to us. A lot of these enemies that you may have forgotten, since they've been 20 levels past, are probably best left to be forgotten, because they are awful, and they cause way too much damage for what little payoff they actually give. But now that we've collected our very important items and some very important sniper rifle ammo, I think it's time to continue on to our big empty street with a newly spawned sniper in it. And seriously, there's very little ways to dodge that guy. Though I will say, there are plenty of ways to dodge falling damage, such as not being a complete idiot. But as you can tell by the overall length of this video, this particular stage kind of takes a while to get through, to say the least. Not to say that there is a lot going on in the level, since this level kind of looks like, well, pretty much the street scenes we saw in the first 3 or 4 levels, I'd say. Now they're just crammed full of pretty much every enemy from every time period, but not in enough force to actually cause any kind of problems. It may actually be a bit hard to see this very stupid enemy up here, but that's actually one of those capitalist pigs proceeding to blow himself to hell. And the only way you can really tell that is because he drops a bomb. And, well, that's going to be the one bomb for the entire level, so I guess if you felt inclined to, you could throw it, or you could just let it sit in your inventory and be your relic.
Won't budge.
But yeah, that entire hallway was just for that one pig and that one bomb and I think some shotgun shells, so really meaningful journey. Hey look, another exciting ice-bound cyborg enemy. Those things are probably the most fun to deal with in this entire game. I will say though, oddly enough, I don't think there were any of those weird Velociraptor raptor things in this entire level. Which, considering they have pretty much every other enemy in this particular level, ranging from the Native American pigs, the capitalist pigs, the cyborg lizards, suicide robots. It pretty much has everything except fun, which I don't know, I'm trying to remember if this is I think this is the second to last stage, and I don't know, I guess they were just trying to remind you that this game took place in different time periods, and they just kind of shoved it all into the same empty level. Just kind of going out on a high note, I guess, but what can you do except collect ammunition for a gun I'll try never to use. Unless, of course, it's to blow open a grate. And hey look, it's a lovely trap. That's great. Thankfully, we can use a pipe bomb to easily set these off while we really stay the fuck out of range, because I'm sure those things will hurt. Also, we have another Duke clone waiting down here for us. I don't know if they're clones, but thankfully, with a sniper rifle and some good distance, and him carrying a Volt cannon of all things, he is pretty easy to take down. Also allowing us to get a Volt cannon, which is awful, to say the least, so I'll try never to use it. And this little underpass here can be a bit of an annoyance. Not so much for the trip mines, rather for the evil Duke Nukem, I guess I'll call him. That is making his way slowly down here while wielding a Havoc multi-launcher, but thankfully I think he ended up running through a lot of those tripwires himself and ended up doing quite a bit of damage to himself, so not too much of a danger there. The real danger comes in the form of the next evil Duke, who is very far away and for some reason has more life than most of the other the evil Dukes. You'll see that I end up plugging him with probably about 5 or 6 sniper rounds, which most of the other Dukes probably would have died 2 or 3 times over, and he managed to do quite a bit of damage to me, so.
Much better.
And you may be able to see my normal inventory up in the upper left hand corner if it wasn't for that really meaningful placeholder text, I guess. I'm not really sure why they thought that was a good cheat to put in, but whatever.
Oh boy, it's clobbering time.
save me, please!
And just some subtle car humor in here. Actually, I think one of the, yeah, there it is, Shizer Motor, or automobiles. Not sure if they actually meant that to be Shyster, or the German word for shit, but either way, we are past that now. And oddly enough, we kind of come full circle by entering into another municipal parking lot.
That's the kind of
Well, I guess the first one was a police parking lot, but yeah, I'm not really certain why we've ended up in another general vicinity of a parking lot. I guess because it's a easily designable big empty space. Hooray! But we're not actually going to be entering into there. Instead, we're going to be entering in through those broken windows. After getting some more useless ammunition. Gotta collect everything. Gotta hoard everything. Also, there's a nice classical piano waiting at the municipal parking lot, which is reasonable, I guess. And some very well planned out ambushes in this general hallway. Obviously you can tell there's a sniper, but there's also one of those Native American pigs. Indian pigs, I suppose. Or I think Mr. Pumpkin mentioned that it was called like pig savages, I think. But that's just some possible racism, like usual. Now those sentry turrets I mentioned before, or flying turrets, they do way too much damage if you just kind of chill around. Like, yeah, that just that actually almost killed me. That was pretty sweet. That's okay because I enjoy using my portable medkits whenever. I think that's a medkit over there, but you know, thankfully with the eye skins, it's very, very hard to tell. And it really doesn't matter because we're actually almost done with this level. We just have to be very careful that we don't fall to our death, or we don't get blown up by a grenade launching pig, or just plenty of things. Actually, why is the sky green? I don't understand this game at all. Unless that's a very loose reference to Night of the Comet, which I don't think they're referencing at all. I don't think anybody does, actually. But thankfully, I really wanted to be hit by an Octobrain because that's just the high point of the game. Especially when you have to have some mild idea and control of where you're going. God, the ice skin just makes everything. It seems to bring out even more ugly in the game than normal, which is amazing to say the least. But yeah, with those little suicide bombers done, we have pretty much reached our ride to get up to the alien mothership. So with that, we'll see you next time for, I think, the final part of 0 Hour.